Hello and welcome to the program. Today we are in Marseille and we're in the city's old stock exchange building, and we're here for a business conference that brings together businessmen and women from around the Mediterranean and also the Middle East. Also here is the Secretary General of the Union for the Mediterranean, Youssef Amrani. Mr. Amrani, thanks very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us.
It's my pleasure.
Now, the Union for the Mediterranean was set up in 2008. There's been lots of criticism since of infighting within the organization. How would you define the state of health of the Union for the Mediterranean today?
Today, I think we are in a very positive mood. First, because the context is different. When it was created, of course, there was some difficulties at the beginning, but today there's a new context, a new momentum. The Arab Spring, Europe in a financial crisis, Europe is now revisiting its neighborhood policy, and today we have started to work on specific projects because there are needs, there are expectations in the south, and we were obliged as Union for the Mediterranean to meet the expectations and to bring the necessary responses to these needs in the region through concrete actions, through projects.
But you say that the Arab uprisings have changed the context of the region. How so, though? Because, of course, within countries such as Tunisia, Egypt, and within Libya, we've seen tremendous change. But how is the changing the dynamics between Europe as well as the south of the Mediterranean?
Okay, because there are some needs, there are some expectations created by this Arab Spring, and Europe and the Mediterranean countries should support these transitions through economic projects, through support of the democratic transition, and this creates a momentum of dialogue. And today, the Mediterranean is at the core of the international agenda. It's a priority for Europe because today Europe cannot compete with the bigger markets like China or Latin America if it has not an environment like the Mediterranean to be able to compete. You have to have in mind that the Mediterranean is 800 million inhabitants, and it's 43 countries. It's the major grouping now in the world. And today, I think we have a historic opportunity to work in the region by creating jobs for young generation, creating wealth, promoting growth, and also it is an opportunity for the business community in Europe to be able to invest and to make money in South Mediterranean today.
Now, you say, though, that, yes, the Union for the Mediterranean, it has 43 member states. Yes. Israel is one member of the Union.
Yes.
And we have seen the Arab-Israeli conflict in particular hamper the Union for the Mediterranean since it was created a couple of years back. Before the Arab-Israeli conflict is resolved finally, is there any way that the Union for the Mediterranean can actually make a difference?
Well, today it's making a difference. We have just adopted unanimously a project on desalination of water in Gaza. And this project has been adopted by the 43 member countries, including Israel. Listen, everybody now agrees that the Union for the Mediterranean is not the body, the gathering where we can solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It is, of course, we have a political dialogue. It's important to have a dialogue politically on the issue of Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But what is the most important is how are we going to build this space of freedom and shared prosperity in the Mediterranean. Of course, we need to have the Israeli-Palestinian conflict resolved on the basis of clear parameters, which are the two-state strategy, the necessity of instauration of a Palestinian state, independent with secure frontiers, existing with the Israeli state. So I think we need to work on this track, but this doesn't hamper us to work also on the projects. These two processes could go hand by hand, of course, but I think this example of the project of water in Gaza Strip is an example or that we can work together.
That's a bottom-up approach, so to speak.
Exactly, bottom-up approach.
And would you say that is your approach across the Mediterranean region? Well, how are you trying to implement that?
My vision today has changed because of the new context I told you. We have to work on regional integration. We have to associate new players in the region, like civil society, youngs, parliament. You have to have in mind that today the European Parliament is a co-decision, has a co-decision power in the European Union. Regions also, they have expertise to work on the cross-border strategies. So I think today, and regional integration is essential, because regional integration helps a couple of countries to work together to increase the intra-trade and to create opportunities for investment in the region. And this, I think, it's important to meet the expectation of the young people as far as job creation is concerned.
But it's not only, when you say regional integration, it's not only a question of integration between the European Union in the north
South-South.
and the Maghreb and North Africa.
I'm talking about South-South integration.
Exactly. I mean, you're from Morocco yourself. Yeah. Links with Algeria, which is not right next door, they're still very, very precarious. Diplomatic links basically don't exist. How are you going to resolve that issue?
I'm speaking to you as Secretary General of the Union for the Mediterranean. But if you want me to talk to you as a Moroccan, yes, I would say yes. I believe in the construction of the building up of a Maghreb Arab Union, because it is not only a popular aspiration, but it is an opportunity to increase the intra-trade. It's also an opportunity to increase investment and to create wealth in our region. And I'm very confident. I think we have to build up this coherent regional Maghreb. And today, I hope that we'll be able to solve the conflict in Libya. Then we will have, I think, the necessary conditions to start building up something that will be benefit for all the people of the region.
Now, as you say, a lot of your focus is on business, and this is a conference all about business. How would you characterize the trading climate today if we return to the Arab uprisings in Tunisia, in Egypt, and in Libya as well?
Exactly. Your question is essential. I think we are working now in the Union for the Mediterranean on instruments to guarantee risk on security, on arbitration, and because we need some instrument to be able to attract the foreign investment, that we call investment schemes. And we are working with the partners, with the EIB, the European Bank, and other institutions to work on schemes for the region to be able to create, as you said, rightly said, the accurate environment for business. Because today, we have to support the SMEs. And we have at the Union for the Mediterranean, a very important program to support SMEs, because SMEs are essential as far as job creation and promotion of growth is concerned. And that's why we are working on this issue with young people. And we are with incubators for young people who would like to create their own business in fact, to make money.
But what would you tell an investor that is eyeing this region at this stage? For instance, eyeing Tunisia.
Yes.
We've got an upcoming election in Tunisia.
Yes.
There are concerns that election could lead to more instability in that country. As I say, what would you tell an investor that is looking at this market?
I will tell them that today history is knocking at our doors. We have to invest in these southern countries of the Mediterranean because there are a lot of opportunities. These countries are growing. Morocco is growing 5-6% every year. Other countries in the region are growing. There is an enormous potential, and we have to invest in the future. Today, the market in Europe is a little bit low, or maybe it is, how I could say that in English, it's very tight. And today, the Mediterranean is an opportunity to invest in the future because there is a lot of expectations, a lot also of projects as far as construction, building up, transport, highways, and so on. And it is also an opportunity to work together in partnership with our colleagues from Europe and the Mediterranean countries of the south.
I want to press you a little bit on that, though.
Please
when
do.
it comes to the investment climate, as I said, there is an election coming up in Tunisia, as well as there are elections coming up in Egypt. We have tremendous risks, though, here on the table. And a foreign investor looking at that, he's probably, or she is probably going to be scared off.
The investor looks for the environment to make money. The investor looks for democratic country. The investor looks for transparency. Investor looks for the openness of the economy. And through these transitions, these countries are moving towards this kind of climate. Listen, today, Morocco has an advanced status with the European Union, has the necessary tools to work with Europe. Morocco is participating in, and it's an example I'm giving. So it's a model of success as far as the relation with Europe and investment. Morocco is building highways. So I think when you create this environment for business, you can attract foreign investment. And today, a lot of investment are going in southern countries. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago in Tunis for the task force on Tunisia. A lot of business people were present from Spain, from France, from everywhere. They were very, very much interested by the transition in Tunisia. And they were there, all the companies, all sectors, and they are ready to help. Even some companies have decided to open offices in Tunisia. This shows that when you have a transition, democratic system building up, you have investors coming in because it is a potential market for them.
We don't have a lot of time left, but I want to pick your brain, though, on the situation in Syria at the moment. What do you make of that situation?
I think that democratic transition is essential everywhere in the Arab world. And today, I think Syria is moving. We need to have an agreement between all the political parties, political systems in Syria, to build up a democratic system. There is no room for failed states in the region. There is room for democratic systems, for open economic openness, and building up of countries that can face the expectation of the young generation.
All right, Youssef Amrani, the Secretary General of the Union for the Mediterranean, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us today. And with that, we're going to wrap up this program. From me, Marcus Carlson, and the rest of the team in Marseille, thanks for watching.